Hey guys, it's Mr. Walker here again. Welcome to another math lesson with Mr. Walker. As you can see, I have some objects up here on my screen, which means I'm ready to go and get to work and jump right into this because I love talking about angles and lines and all the different things we're going to talk about today. And actually, today's goal is to identify and define and draw perpendicular lines. So you're probably thinking, what in the world are perpendicular lines, Mr. Walker? Well, we're going to be talking about that today. So make sure you just have something to write on, something to write with. If you have a straight edge like a ruler or something like that, that would be awesome as well. And if you have your right angle template that we made a couple lessons ago, if you have that with you, keep that out as well. That's going to come in really handy too. So we're going to jump right in. Once you have those things, go ahead and just click play or let it keep playing, and let's get to work on perpendicular lines. Alright guys, before we jump into looking at all these pictures, I'm going to look at one other thing real quick. I'm going to draw a picture for you guys. I'm going to draw some lines here. So if I drew a line going this way, a line going this way, what do you guys see? What do you notice here? Awesome. I have two rays, I guess you could say. I have two rays going here. And I have four angles definitely going on. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4 angles going on in here. How can we label those angles? Some of you I heard are saying like 90-degree angles. So let's take a look at this real quick. I'm going to label some points around my grid real quick. And if I look at these lines and these angles here, let's see, I have some angles here like A, E, B, I have C, E, B, D, E, B. All of them have D as the commonality there. And if I have this line segment of A and E, and this line segment of E and B, they have a certain relationship to each other, right? We have an angle going on in between them, and that angle is 90 degrees. So if we have lines or line segments or rays or whatever that meet each other at 90 degrees, they meet and form a 90-degree angle like these do here, we call those lines perpendicular. Perpendicular means they meet at 90-degree angles, okay? And we have a symbol that we could draw for perpendicular, and basically it's a perpendicular line. So it's like an upside-down T, if you will. So I could say that line AE, line segment AE, is perpendicular to line segment EB. Okay, so I can use that term perpendicular to describe those lines. They form at a 90-degree angle. Do you see any other perpendicular lines on this shape? Yeah, there's a bunch, right? C and E are perpendicular to B and E. C and E are perpendicular to E and D. There's a whole bunch on here, okay? What if I drew another shape like this? Do we see any perpendicular lines here? No, because these angles in here that are formed are going to be either greater than or less than 90 degrees. They're not going to be 90 degrees exactly. We need 90 degrees exactly in order for them to be perpendicular. Okay, so let's go back to those shapes I had up here earlier, those pictures I had up here earlier. Look at these pictures here. These are common everyday like objects that you might see in the world. Do we notice any perpendicular lines in these objects? I want you guys to take a second, explore these objects, and see how many perpendicular lines you can find. Awesome. Now there's actually a whole bunch of perpendicular lines, so let's kind of look through at some of them. Now even though this desk is kind of not shown at 90 degrees to us, in the real world all of these corners here would be like 90 degree corners. So here, even where this leg comes down would be 90 degrees, this kind of crossboard back here would be 90 degrees. All of those lines where they meet would be 90 degrees, which would make them perpendicular. If we come over here to the stop sign, might be looking around the edges and going, well, all of those angles are going to be bigger than 90 degrees, but let's look at these letters right here. How about where this T crosses at the top here? That would be 90 degrees. We have even over here, even though it's not a straight line coming off that P there, but we have another 90 degrees where those lines meet as well. So we could find some 90 degrees there. We have them on this computer as well. Any of these corners that are being made. These are all perpendicular corners here. They're showing the corner 90 degrees right there. Even on the inside here, these are 90-degree corners in there. Pretty interesting. Bookshelf has the same. Any one of these would be 90 degrees in here. All of those little angles in there. Our friend the house over here, our door has 90-degree angles on it. Down here at the bottom is going to have 90-degree angles. So anywhere where these lines meet up to form that 90-degree angle, those are going to be perpendicular lines. Even here on this xylophone. 90 degrees, man. Look at all these 90 degrees hiding out in here in these little note bars or whatever they're called. So you got them going across there. Even though my highlighter doesn't want to draw 90 degrees on there, you're getting the idea, okay? These buildings, same thing. The skyline has a bunch of 90 degree perpendicular angles going on in it, okay? So take a look around. You're going to see perpendicular lines in your real life everywhere around you, right? So we found some perpendicular lines. We explained what a perpendicular line is. Let's make some perpendicular lines of our own. So I have two shapes or two boxes here with some lines drawn in them. I want to make perpendicular lines, which means if I take a look at like this line segment here, I want to draw another line segment that intersects that one at a 90 degree angle, okay? So I'm going to have it come at the same angle that the other line is drawn at. Now I did use the term intersect. That means whenever any two lines cross each other, that's called an intersection. When that intersection happens at 90 degrees, then we call that perpendicular, okay? So we can kind of take our definition a little bit further. So these angles in here would all be 90, making these perpendicular lines to each other. Same thing here, if I wanted to make a perpendicular line across this line here, I'd probably have to come at like a little bit shorter of an angle. It'd be something like that to make sure that I have 90 degrees in there. And you can always check those using that 90 degree checker kind of foldable that we made, or if you have another object, like I have this triangle here that I know has a 90 degree, a perpendicular angle on it, I can use that to measure my angles as well. And if I put that 90 degree angle up against the drawing that I made, it looks pretty good to me. It's lining up pretty good there. All right, so you guys kind of get the idea. Over here, I could do the same thing. I can make another line that would make this perpendicular. So like right about there. I could do another one on this guy going through this way. I could use the grids to help me out to make sure that I'm making those 90 degree perpendicular lines. All right, one more challenge for you guys. We have this weird looking shape right here. And we're going to find as many perpendicular lines, as many 90 degree angles as we can around this shape. I'm going to start here by labeling points. So I'm going to start here with A. We can even label this guy as B, C, D. You kind of get the idea. Alright, so let's look around here and see if we can find some perpendicular lines. And I'm going to label them using that perpendicular symbol. Okay, so I can start right here with A and B. Right, I have line segment A and B is going to be perpendicular to line segment C and D because they meet, or I'm sorry, C and B, because they meet here at a 90 degree angle. All right, and if these two lines are perpendicular, then these two are going to be perpendicular as well because they're just on the opposite side. So I'm going to say G and H are perpendicular to H and I. Why don't you guys take a second and see if you can find any perpendicular lines in this shape and write them down as well. Then we'll come back in a second and discuss. Alright, so I was able to find some more down here, like K and J is perpendicular to KA. HI is perpendicular to JI, so we're getting the idea there. There's even some ones hiding up here, like F and G is perpendicular to G and H, because they're making a 90 degree angle right through here. And the same thing would be true on this other side as well. Hopefully you guys are able to start see what a perpendicular line is, what it means, and that we can see them like basically everywhere. Anywhere that you have a right angle, you're gonna have some perpendicular lines. So hopefully this helps. Please let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Good luck finding and labeling your own perpendicular lines today, and we'll talk to you soon.